Nightwing, a movie from 1979, takes us into the suspenseful world of a tribal deputy in New Mexico fighting against a mass of killer bats. Among the cast, Nick Mancuso stands out with his performance, capturing the audience with his authentic portrayal of a man caught between tradition and the modern world. This film brings a mix of emotions, with moments that will make you laugh, keep you on the edge of your seat, and even tug at your heartstrings. Now, I'd like to know, who was your favorite actor in this classic? And do you have any special memories linked to Nightwing? Maybe it was a movie night with friends or a scene that stayed with you over the years. Share your stories and experiences in the comments below. We're eager to hear what this movie means to you. The 1979 film Nightwing presents a unique blend of horror with supernatural elements set against a political backdrop. It tells the story of a colony of vampire bats that wreak havoc on a small village in New Mexico. The narrative unfolds at a measured pace, allowing the tension to build amidst the atmospheric and grainy visuals that capture the essence of the era. The film employs a suspenseful storytelling technique reminiscent of Hitchcock, deliberately delaying the appearance of the bats to enhance the sense of dread. When the creatures finally emerge, they are portrayed with a realism that adds to the film's chilling effect. Nightwing stands out for its thoughtful plot and the performances of its cast, particularly Nick Mancuso as Youngman Duran and David Warner as Phillip Payne, who delivered disciplined portrayals of characters determined to rid their community of the menacing bats. The cinematography by Charles Rosher Jr. showcases the stunning landscapes of New Mexico, complemented by Henry Mancini's haunting score that anchors the film firmly in the 1970s. Despite its occasional preakiness and lack of the intense gore seen in later films like Bats, Nightwing remains a noteworthy film that has aged well, offering a less terrifying but still compelling viewing experience. Its availability is limited, prompting enthusiasts to seek out physical copies, such as the Blu-ray, which boasts an impressive print quality for its time. Nightwing may be one of the lesser-known horror films of its decade, but it holds its own with a solid 3-star rating. In the center of the narrative is the Pahana Tribal Council, a representation of indigenous Native American governance. The film's climax unfolds within the confines of a meticulously constructed vampire bat cavern. This towering set, reaching 60 feet in height, was brought to life on Stage 16 at the Burbank Studios in Hollywood, California. Marking his entry into American cinema, Canadian actor Nick Mancuso takes on the role of Youngman Duran, delivering a performance that would pave the way for his future endeavors in the industry. In the wake of Jaws, a trend of wildlife horror films emerged, and this particular film followed suit, drawing inspiration from the 1975 classic. It also drew comparisons to another earlier work, The Birds, due to its similar theme of menacing animals. Interestingly, the director shared initials with the master of suspense Alfred Hitchcock, adding a curious note to its production trivia. The film arrived on the big screen 2 years after the release of its literary counterpart, penned by Martin Cruz Smith, which had introduced audiences to its chilling narrative in 1977. In a unique setting, the film unfolds on a reservation, highlighting the cultural backdrop of indigenous American tribes, specifically the Apache. This choice of location is not just for visual storytelling, but also ties back to the director's previous work, which also touched upon similar themes. The production journey took the crew across various landscapes, spanning Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, and California, capturing the essence of each locale. The narrative involves the vampire bat, known scientifically as Desmodus rotundus. However, the actual bats filmed were the Mexican free-tailed bats, or Tattara brasiliensis, native to the Americas and observed in their natural habitat at Bracken Cave Preserve in Texas. This detail adds a layer of authenticity to the portrayal of the nocturnal creatures central to the story. In the backdrop of the American Southwest, a story unfolds involving the Meskwaki, an indigenous North American Indian tribe. The film acknowledges the cooperation of various entities in its creation, extending gratitude to the Governor of New Mexico's office and staff, the State of Nevada's Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of State Parks, and Dr. Clay Mitchell for their contributions. David Warner, portraying the character Phillip Payne, a British scientist specializing in vampire bats, brings a level of expertise to the role reminiscent of his later portrayal of Professor Leopold McCarthy in the 1987 film My Best Friend is a Vampire. In a unique turn of events, Martin Cruz Smith, known for his novels, took on the role of screenwriter for this film, marking his sole venture into film writing. Unlike his later work Gorky Park, which he did not adapt for the screen, this film stands as his only screenplay. This project also marked the last time producer Martin Ransohoff and director Arthur Hiller would work together, ending a series of collaborations that included notable films from the 1960s and 1970s. Despite their previous successes, this film was met with critical disdain, earning the dubious honor of Worst Picture from the Hastings Bad Cinema Society's Stinker's Bad Movie Awards in the same year of its release. While working on a film in England, David Warner was offered a role that led him to Hollywood, marking a departure from his typical casting. This opportunity came during the production of a thriller set in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, Strother Martin and director Arthur Hiller, who had previously collaborated on 2 television projects across different decades, reunited for this project. Their partnership spanned 3 decades, reflecting a consistent working relationship. The film was adapted from a novel by Martin Cruz Smith, which stood as his 5th published work, gained notable success, and was shortlisted for a prestigious Mystery Writers Award, marking a significant milestone in his writing career. In the heart of Texas, less than 20 miles from San Antonio, lies Bracken Cave Preserve, a natural haven for the world's largest bat colony. Over 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats, scientifically known as Tattara brasiliensis, call this part of Comal County their home. This remarkable location served as the backdrop for the real-life bat sequences captured on film. Kathryn Harrold made her first appearance on the big screen in this film, taking on the role of Anne Dillon. Her performance marked the beginning of her career in theatrical features. The film also stands out as the inaugural cinematic interpretation of a novel by Martin Cruz Smith, an accomplishment not repeated until the release of Gorky Park 4 years later. Both films share the common thread of Dan Wallen's expertise, as he lent his skills as a music scoring mixer to these unique adaptations of Smith's work. In an ambitious effort to captivate audiences with realistic effects, Columbia Pictures invested heavily in special effects talent, enlisting Carlo Rambaldi to craft what were intended to be convincing and frightening bats. Despite Rambaldi's previous successes, the end result fell short of expectations. The mechanical bats, despite the investment, failed to mimic the appearance or movement of their real-life counterparts, leading to the film's lackluster reception. It failed to resonate with critics and moviegoers alike, resulting in poor box office performance. The film joined a series of nature-centric horror films, following in the footsteps of earlier works like The Birds and Frogs, but it did not manage to leave a significant mark in the genre or in cinematic history.